Let's take a look at the probability of independent events. Let's say you have these 10 blocks in a cup. What is the probability that you'll pick out a blue block and then a yellow block if you pull one at a time and then put them back in? So right now with 10 blocks, we have 3 blue ones. So we're going to reach in. We don't know what we're going to get, but let's say we get blue, and then we say, oh, we got blue, and we put it back in. So now we're going to say, what is the probability now of getting a yellow one? So now there are 2 yellow ones out of 10, and we multiply those together, and we can reduce first here to a 1 in 5 chance. Multiplying across, we get a 3 in 50 chance of getting a blue and then a yellow. So if you roll a dice and flip a coin, what would be the probability of getting a 4 and then getting tails? So let's look at what do we know about getting a 4. We know 1 out of every 6 things on a dice is a 4, which tells us for every 6 rolls, 1 will be a 4. And 1 out of every 2 sides would be tails. Multiplying these together, a 1 in 12 chance that we will get a 4 and tails. But the question is, why do we multiply these together? Basically, you're looking at sample space. So let's think about what we could get if we roll a dice. We could get a 1, 2, 3, a 4, 5, or 6. That's all the possible outcomes of rolling our dice. And when we flip a coin, we could get heads or tails. So we know there's a 1 in 6 chance, 1 out of every 6 sides will be a 4. And then we're saying, hey, half of those will be what we want, will be the tails. And so that is why we multiply them together. We say half of our original 1 out of 6. And that is what gives us 1/12. Because you can see there's 12 possible outcomes of rolling a dice and flipping a coin, but only 1 out of 12 matches what we want. What is the probability of getting tails 3 times in a row from flipping a coin? So we know flipping a coin, the probability of tails is 1/2. So we multiply times 1/2 again and times 1/2 again, because each time we have half a chance of getting tails, so there is a 1 in 8 chance of getting tails 3 times in a row. Again, if you draw your sample space, you'll be able to see why this is true. We could get heads or tails, and then again, heads or tails with our second roll. So that's our second roll. Our third roll, again, we could get heads or tails. So if you'll draw your tree diagram of your sample space, which just means all the possible outcomes, you can see where we're going. We can see here that there are 8 possible outcomes, but only one of them has tails 3 times, and that's why it's a 1 in 8 chance. What would be the probability of getting white twice in a row on this spinner? So the first thing you need to know is how many sections it has. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it repeats, so there's 12 total sections. 2 of them are white, so 2 out of 12 would be the first probability, and then we multiply by 2 out of 12 again. Now you can reduce here to 1 out of 6 and 1 out of 6. So there's a 1 in 36 chance that you will get white twice in a row.